LaWanna Bradford is a force in entrepreneurship, a visionary leader, and a catalyst for change. With 30 plus years of strategic expertise, she drives growth and market positioning for federal entities, private organizations, and aspiring entrepreneurs. As COO of the Bradford Group, a renowned mortgage broker and principal of the Bradford Group Consulting, an esteemed business management firm, LaWanna spearheads industry revolution using a customer-centric perspective. If you are looking to take change in things to the next level, she is known to effectively guide businesses and entrepreneurs in adding zeros to their bottom line.
Morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? You can hear me okay? Good. The one thing that we've heard is change. Change is constant. And it's one thing when we anticipate change, we can brace ourselves. But when that change comes and it's like that rug is jerked from under you and suddenly you're flat on your backside, life takes on a different meaning. You may find yourself in one of three categories. One, you may be petrified, frozen, thinking, wishing, hoping, and praying that it will just all go away. Or perhaps you're in a state of denial. You bury your head in the sand. It's the ostrich syndrome. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. And I just hope against hope that once I raise my head up, that things will be back to normal. How many of us have heard over the past few years, if it could just be back to normal, right? Or perhaps, like me, you found yourself infected with the CLS, the Chicken Little syndrome. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. You're running around frenetically, crazed, not knowing what to do, where to go, because your life, your world seems to be crashing around you. See, these moments in life, as Kamal stated, I call them the tsunamic episodes, when it's wave after wave after wave of change that comes, and you don't know how to react. You don't know how to position yourself. In 2007, 2008, I found that building two multi-million-dollar companies, being an award-winning financial analyst, an award-winning strategist, didn't mean anything when the US was hit with the largest financial crisis that it had ever experienced since the Great Depression. Being a commercial and investment mortgage brokerage, we were on the front line and we were hit hard. I suddenly found myself with the inability to lend. I had 19 employees and I'm looking at their eyes and wondering, how am I going to still make payroll and my other obligations? Banks were closing to the left and to the right of us. Brokers were closing. And all I knew was I didn't want to go the way of the dodo. I knew that I was in my right lane. And I felt a little sense of comfort because I had a great partner. How many of you out there have great partners that you know you can rely on, that have your back in business or in life, right? Well, I went to my brother and I said, okay, we're the dynamic duo, we're the tag team, we're going to figure this out. We're going to survive this crisis. Well, he looked at me and he said, sis, I hear you, but I've got my wife, my newborn twins. The risk is a little great. I paused. I said, okay, I understand. I respect that. But what I didn't understand, true story, he left our mortgage company to go work for another mortgage company. So the dreamer left the dream. And I was left trying to keep the ship afloat. Breathe. I had an idea, and sometimes in a state of crisis, we find ourselves peppered with different ideas, but sometimes we don't think those ideas all the way through. And I knew I had a very well-endowed retirement fund. And I said, I know what I'll do. I'll start drawing down that retirement fund. I'll make my obligations. I'll be able to make payroll because this surely can't last very long. Little did I know this downward economic spiral of the economy lasted for a few years. And that healthy retirement fund, which I tell you should never rob from your future to pay for your present, dwindled down to $7,800. Unfortunately, what I was trying to avoid, I ended up facing anyway. I had a business that was almost bankrupt, had to let the employees go, and I had nothing for my future self. I breathe. Then my husband said, LaWanna, you need to let the business go. You're just crazy. You seem to be so obsessed with this. And I'm like, no, I know this is my lane. It may not make sense, but I am convinced I'm where I'm supposed to be. Unfortunately, he didn't share that vision. And we ended up getting divorced. Another tsunami wave. I breathe. Another idea. How am I going to do this? My husband's gone, so that's income out of the house. My business isn't making money. Mom, Dad, deep pocket, help. Well, Mom and Dad got on a plane from Arizona and flew to Atlanta. And I had to be fully transparent and show them everything that I had. They needed to know where my obligations were and what was coming in. Goose egg was coming in, rising debt, right? And my dad said, LaWanna, I need you to sell your house. I said, Dad, I can't do that. I've lost everything. That's the only thing I have left. And he said, okay, this is what I'll do for you. And it's so great when we are blessed to have a safety net, right? So my safety net, Mom and Dad said, we will make sure that you have a roof over your head, food in your belly, utilities on, gas in the car, but that business is on you. Breathe, because I thought the main things are taken care of, and now I'll be able to think clearly and figure my way out of this dire state that I was in. But lo and behold, another tsunami wave came, bigger than the last. I was sued by Chase Bank, one of the biggest banks in the nation, and I thought, what? The what? Chase Bank? Little LaWanna Bradford? Mom, Dad, help. They said, what don't you understand? We told you. A roof over your head, food in your belly, utilities on, gas in the car. That business is on you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, success leaves clues, and sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And you have to look for those individuals who've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. Today, we call them coaches, mentors, guides, advisors. So I went to someone who had gone through something similar, and I said, I'm being sued by Chase Bank. I don't want them to strip me of everything that I have. What do I need to do? I don't have any money to represent myself. And the individual said, I will teach you how to represent yourself in court, but I need you to be coachable. How many of you have heard when you've gone to a coach or something, that's one of the questions they ask you, are you coachable, right? Sometimes you have to get out of your own way in order to escalate to the next level. So I sat down and closed my mouth and made sure I was listening closely and intently. I was taking notes feverishly. And then I started practicing and rehearsing. And I was scared when I went before the court. And I am so glad to say that the Bradford Group today is celebrating 17 years in business because of that sage advice. The Bradford Group went against Chase Bank and we won. I breathe. Okay, we're on the move. It can't get any worse, right? The tsunami of all tsunamis hit me. Keep in mind, this is in a span of a 4-year period from the first to this last one. I received a diagnosis that I had cancer. What? Cancer? Me? I dotted all the right I's and crossed all the right T's when it came to health and fitness. How was I diagnosed not only with cancer, but with a rare form of cancer? That there was no cure? What? And so I remember climbing to the top of my stairs, staring out of my Palladium window, feeling so broken, feeling so lost, wondering, was it even worth continuing? And I felt so blue. And if any of you saw the movie The Color Purple, there is a scene in the movie where Sophia was at her lowest point, and she said, I was feeling mighty low. I was feeling so low, there was no words to describe the pain, the agony, the emotional agony that I was going through. But then I heard a voice from the past. And sometimes as we're journeying through life, we are seeded with nuggets that we may not need at the moment, but at the right time, they come back and they start to germinate so that we can tap into them for our strength. And this was a message given to me by a multimillionaire by the name of Jim McCracken. And he said, LaWanna, in life and in business, if you keep journeying, there will be challenges. There will be trials. But I don't ever want you to pray for money. I don't ever want you to pray for resources. Pray for knowledge and wisdom. Resources and money will always follow. So I started praying for knowledge and wisdom. I'm like, what do I do? This is foreign. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move forward. And another person called me and said, LaWanna, I've got some advice for you. And I got really angry. And some of you may have had that where someone just out of the blue has some advice for you and they don't even know the details of your situation. And I said, I'm trying to figure this out. He said, you have two choices. You can either die living or live dying. Choice is yours. Fast forward to today. I'm still here. Still battling cancer, but I'm still here. So I want to challenge each of you to realize that life shows up, but it's how you choose to respond when life shows up. Do you embrace the moment? Do you live in the now? Are you present? Are you tapped in, tuned in, turned out, sold out, and committed to you, in the words of Abraham Hicks? And what I realized when I looked back and I saw myself being able to recover wave after wave, how was I able to do that? How did I learn how to ride the crest of every tsunami wave that happened? And I call that now the R3 system. And the R3 system is your personal GPS system that allows you to navigate life's tsunamic waves or the minefields in life. The R3 system starts first with refocusing. So I know your mics are off, but just say it out loud to yourself. Refocus. Refocus. Now, refocusing is more than a mindset. It's far more than a mindset. It is knowing without a doubt your why, your reason for existence at this moment in time. Our purpose may change as we grow in life, but at this moment in time, having that solidified knowledge as to why you are here and why you matter. It's about realizing that you are connected to a higher divine power, that you have gifts and talents that are meant to tap and touch lives like no one else can. It is being so wedded to you and loving yourself in such a way that you're able to pull yourself up, dust yourself off, and start to gain clarity. Because when it's dark, even the brightest flashlights cannot illuminate your way. So you have to be able to find illumination in the trials. Find that anchor that helps you to resonate and be reminded of how great you are. Because every one of us is great. We just happen to be hit by a circumstance, but we are never defined by the circumstance unless you choose to, as we heard Sherry say, allow that stinking thinking to get into your head. Number 2, it's about reframing. Say it with me, reframe. Reframe. When you reframe, This is not about pivoting. We've all heard about the pivoting bandwagon. That's another conversation. This is about tapping into your gifts, your talents. Lean into this and designing your lane. It's realizing that you are the architect of your life. Everything that you experience is because you designed it. Sometimes it's hard to get our head around, but you designed it. So if you have the creative power, then design the lane of your dreams and realize that no one is in your lane but you, unless you choose to invite them in. But just as you invited them in, you can bless and release them and invite them back out, right? And when you have your lane and you're clearly defined and you have those boundaries and you've refocused, now you're laser focused on where you're going. You are tapped into that goal. You are running that race with commitment. We heard the word commitment by Kamal. We can have intention all day long. We hear people say, set your intention, set your intention. Okay, I can intend, but then every excuse can cause me to derail or sideline myself. But when I'm committed, it's by any means necessary. I find a way to rise up. As I said, I am still in the cancer fight, but most people don't know it unless I share it with you, right? And also realizing when it's your lane, you're not looking to the right, you're not looking to the left. Those things are distractions. Dr. Patricia can be doing her wonderful things, soaring high. Kamal can be doing his wonderful things to my right, soaring high. I applaud them, but I'm not distracted by them. Run your lane. That is reframing. The third. And this, for me, ladies and gentlemen, was the hardest part of the R3 system. And it's about reconnecting. Say reconnect. When you reconnect, that is saying, I am going to step back into the playing field of life. I'm going to step back into my destiny. I'm going to step back onto the lane that I designed for myself. See, for me, I had been broken down. I was broke. I was devastated. I felt dejected. I was abandoned. I had lost everything. I had lost respect. I had lost friends. I had lost my health. Was I worthy? Was I deserving to step back up? To show up again? You bet I was. Because it was my life. It was my lane. If any of this has resonated with you, I want you to realize that the R3 system that I just shared is what you do on the personal front, but you further can cascade it down to your product. How do you refocus, reframe, reconnect? Your people, your client, your stakeholder engagements, and also your pricing. If any of this has resonated with you, if you've ever felt abandoned, broken, dejected, second guessing yourself, wondering if you have the gifts and talents to rise up, wondering if this is really your time, wondering if that dream was just a dream, then I encourage you to tap into us and let's have a conversation about how you can shape and develop your customized R3 system. This is something that I use in life and in business every single day. It's not a one and done. It's part of my being. As Birch Smith's line says, it's the essence of your being. It's finding a way to, again, navigate life because life happens, shift happens. But it's your way of not allowing the excuses to sideline you or derail you. I'd like you to text my name, Bradford, to 888-111. That's Bradford to 888-111. And what you will get is a downloadable audio of strategic planning to remain relevant. So strategic planning for success. my 30 plus years in strategy, working with big business, I realized that success leaves clues. See, these big businesses once were small businesses. They started in their kitchen, started in their garage, but now they've become legacy companies. Well, I realized that if these big boys are calling on my company and me to help their executives navigate through changes, to continue to reach customers to emerging markets, to add zeros to their bottom line, how much more can I do for the small business owner, the entrepreneur, who are the backbone of this economy? Number 2 gift that I have for you. Again, texting, you want to text R3, the letter R, the number 3, to 888-111. That's R3 to 888-111. And what you get is a personal R3 session with me. It's a 30-minute complimentary session where we talk about what may be disrupting your lane and how you can begin to consciously and intentionally, with commitment, develop your customized R3 system, which will allow you to refocus, reframe, and reconnect on an ongoing basis. It's basically that plan, do, check, act. For those of you who are in the business lane, that's what it is. My doorbell is ringing. But I want to encourage you to connect with me. If you're that individual who wants to find opportunity in the chaos, transform your stepping stones into stumbling blocks, be that person that creates impact, influence, income, and independence. Be that individual who is a legacy building person in life, not just for you, but for the next generation. I encourage you to partner with us where we're making a difference, one life at a time, one strategy at a time. I want you to remember the name LaWanna Bradford. And I want you to remember this critical statement, that in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Thank you so very much. I appreciate being here. Thank you, LaDonna.
Oh, that is wonderful. We're getting so many great chats. People are loving what they're hearing from all of our speakers. And you know what's so amazing is each one of you speakers are different, don't know each other, completely across the world from each other. But guess what? You're putting the story together of how to build our businesses and to be powerful. And I just love that. Does anyone have any questions for LaWanna? Any questions? Raw, I know that you had some great compliments in the chat. Would you like to just share one of those with us, please?
Hey everyone. Oh my God, LaWanna, that was amazing. Like, you connect with me on so many different levels. And that's what I'm talking about. Strength and resilience comes in that story. And whoever follow you, trust me, if I have to have a coach, that's where I want to be. If I don't know how to do it and I have to hear your story, I know definitely if I follow you, I will be out of it. Amazing. And thank you for sharing. God bless you.
Thank you, Raw.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, LaDonna.
You're welcome. Jen, do you have something?
I do. I just want to say thank you for sharing like your failures and like what we would think were failures, right? All these setbacks, all these like just crap, right? And it's hard as entrepreneurs and business owners to share that because now like how is somebody supposed to trust us, right? When we've lost and we failed and, you know, all the ugly things. But I think, you know, our mindset needs to be just the opposite. We have built the right to build somebody else's business because we already know what not to do, right? And how valuable is that for somebody to hire somebody that's been through it? So now we get to learn from your mistakes and your embarrassments and your pain, and you just save us so much time and money because you fast track that for us. And I love that you're sharing, and I thank you for your courage and your bravery, and I will definitely be praying for your health.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you're right, Jen. It is about finding those people who, I said, been there, done that, and got the t-shirt, because then you know they understand your journey and they can carefully navigate you through the waters, right? It's not a guessing game. So yes, thank you.